Oh no, yeah, well, this is Red Rat and keep it locked to Entertainment Report podcast and the baddest podcast around town. And you can't take them for no clown. Hey, you girl in the tight up skirt, keep it locked. And boom.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two Line Music Huts Entertainment Report podcast. And today we have a 90s living legend in the building. Listen, this man gave you songs like Shelly Ann, Dwayne, Tight Up Skirt, Cruise, Big Man, Liquor You. Listen, he had crazy hits in the 90s. To this day, he's still putting out crazy music right now. You know who we have in the building today? We have Red Rat in the building today. What's going on, big boss?
Oh no, well, God must bless up yourself, my G.
Yes, man. Maximum respect for joining us here on the Entertainment Report podcast today.
Yep, yeah, man. Thanks for having me on the program, my brother.
Yeah, man, for sure. I don't know. No, I know guaranteed 1000%. You will not remember this, but listen, this was like about 12 to 15 years ago. We did an interview. And in this interview, you said to me, listen, help helps. Just those two words right there totally change everything wrong. I've never thought about it that way before.
Yeah, man. I grew up. I'm a countryman, so
Yeah.
I grew up with a country mentality, knowing that whatever you put out there in the universe definitely comes back to you. So I tend to live my life just wherever I can help to anybody in the world. I know it's gonna come back to me. So I have to put that out there.
For sure, 1000% guaranteed. Let's get into the history of Red Rat because you got a lot of history. You know what I mean? And especially being in 2020, there's certain things that people won't know that we want to just bring them right up to speed right now. All right,
Let's get it.
let's go. Music business. How did you enter the music business, and why did you decide to be a DJ opposed to like a selector, a singer, or anything else? Why a DJ?
Well, I entered the music industry from the day one when I came out my mom's and the doctor slapped my butt and I started to cry.
Yeah.
That crying alone was it was amazing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but I grew up in the music industry because most of my family is in music. So my father used to play guitar for Byron Lee and the Dragonaires.
Okay.
He also was the producer of Byron Lee's first album, Softly. And he's also from a band back in the 70s in the UK called Jimmy James and the Vagabonds.
Got you.
Then my oldest brother plays bass for Jimmy Cliff and Dinah King. And I also have a brother that plays drums. He used to be from the band in Jamaica called the Mob Band. They used to
Yeah.
back Beenie Man and Bounty Killer. Yeah, the drummer was my brother. And my other brother was a DJ on IRI FM, DJ Shinehead.
Yeah.
Steely and Clevie.
Mhm.
Clevie is also my uncle. So it's a whole family affair.
What? I didn't know that it went that deep. I knew, okay, I can't sit here and lie. I knew about your dad playing for Byron Lee. I knew you had two
Yeah.
other brothers that were in something, but I didn't know it was this serious.
Yeah, man. It's a whole
Yeah.
family affair. But I didn't get it easy. They gave me the run for my money. I had to prove myself.
Yeah.
I was the second to last out of five boys, and when you have all big brothers, they ain't gonna play soft with you. They'll make sure
Yeah.
give it to you. You know what I mean? So I get it rough.
Yeah, I believe you. So okay, so now you're dealing with Steely Clevie, that's production. You're dealing with people playing instruments. You're dealing with backing band and stuff. So why did you decide the artist route? What made you decide to say it, and
Big
especially DJ opposed to sing?
big because they didn't want me to touch their instruments.
Yeah.
But I mean, I play four instruments. A lot of people don't know that about me. Like I play four instruments, and I've been producing since 1999. So I play the
Okay.
drums because I learned from my brother. I
Yeah.
play the guitar because I learned from my father, and bass as well from my brother. But I play piano by ear. And
Okay.
I was just that kid that always wanted to be the center of attention. So the the place that it definitely was for me was on the stage, was in front of everybody doing everything,
Yeah.
because I was that person that loved to entertain.
That was you from beginning. And what year did you say you actually professionally entered the music business?
Um what would you say professionally though? Because my brother was in a band called City Heat,
Hmm.
which was the backing band for Diana King back in the days, right?
Okay.
And they used to play in all the hotels on the North Coast in Jamaica. And my mother used to be like the seamstress. She used to make all the uniforms for all the hotels. So I
Okay.
used to be there all the time. And my first performance ever was with them. They called me on the stage, and as a little kid, I sang ABC. And the people went crazy, and from that I was like, you know what, this is something that I wanted to do. And then when I moved to Canada when I was about 7 years old, I used to go to a school called Meadowbrook Prep
Yes.
School,
Hmm.
and they used to have like fetes and barbecues between this prep school and the high school. And me and my brother used to be the performers at the time, being on all the barbecues and the fetes. So I started on the performance scene before I got into the studio scene. And
Okay.
about 14, yeah, about 13, 14, I met General Degree because, Danny Brownie is also my uncle. And Danny Brownie was producing General Degree at the time. And,
Didn't
I
know that.
started to par with Degree. Yeah,
Mhm.
man. Steely and Clevie and Danny and the bassist for Tyrus Riley, Glenn Brownie, all of them is Brownie brothers. The guitarist for Freddie McGregor is
Yeah.
also a Brownie, so all of them is uncles.
Okay.
So, but when I was in about 14, that's when I started to par with General Degree and go into these different studios. And even though Danny was my uncle, I wasn't allowed into the studio until one day I said to him, "Yo, some can DJ."
Yeah.
Him said, laugh off at me, wicked too, like
Yeah.
jump on the ground, laugh.
Yeah.
And so, what you know about DJ? And I said, just give me a chance. And I said, all right,
Mhm.
come and carry me to the studio. And I've never left the studio since.
And what year? What year was this?
At 14, that was probably 93, 94.
Right. So okay, so then you got into the studio 93, 94. And did you actually have your name at this time, or you got your name as you became an artist?
Okay, so back in prep school and everything, I used to play soccer for the school. I was one of the top footballers for the school, and I was real skinny. And
Mhm.
the coach, well, Jamaican people stay. They don't want to by a government name. They want
Yeah.
to find whatever it is you look like,
Uh-huh.
or whatever it is, just to call you that. So because I was skinny and you don't know, my complexion in Jamaica is considered red.
Yeah.
They used to call me mice. So as growing up in these fetes and barbecues, I used to call myself mad mice. But then when I look up a degree now and start going to the studio, him say, yo, change your name, man, because you have white mice already, you have singing
Yeah.
mice, different mice already that was out there. I said, well, degree, you want to change my name, so find a name and let me know if me work with it. And
Yeah.
he was pondering for a good like 2 hours or whatever, and then come back and say, I find it. You're red and you look like a rat, so you name Red Rat. And I know in Jamaica, if you fight against a name that them give to you, they're gonna give you a worse name. So I was like, all right, Red Rat, I'll keep
It's
it.
good. Crazy, crazy. Yeah. So okay, so Degree was the one that came up with your name then.
Yeah, man. Degree is the one that decided that I read and I look like a rat. So
Yeah.
it's stuck. It's stuck from that.
Yeah, and you figured, listen, it doesn't make sense to try to fight against this because the harder I fight is the more they're gonna push it
I,
away.
I've seen it all, brother. I've seen Jamaican people are so creative and funny that they'll use a fact that somebody is dying of AIDS or whatever
Yeah.
and say, yo, Wagwan soon dead.
Buddy, welcome to Jamaica, brother.
Welcome to Jamrock.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Okay, so you got your name. And what was the first song that you actually recorded under your name, Red Rat?
My first record out of Main Street is a song called Itsy Bitsy.
Itsy Bitsy. Okay, I'm not familiar with that one there.
Yeah, man, you remember the song that Buccaneer did Holy Baboya no say them a gangster, but them
Yeah.
a punky brewster. I was on that
Yeah.
rhythm.
Okay.
The song was called Itsy Bitsy, and out of nowhere Beenie Man heard it and did his own Itsy Bitsy. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm
Uh,
just saying. I'm just saying.
wow. Okay. And how did you even develop your sound and your catchphrase?
It was out of I wouldn't say buck ups, but back in the days, my biggest influence in dancehall music was like Super Cat and Shabba Ranks and Buju Banton. And
Mhm.
then after I started to, power general degree, I wanted to sing with that big voice. So I used to practice you name, Philip on them, like try to sound like general degree. And
Yeah.
being a part of Main Street Crew is like he was the producer that always comes with gimmick records like Lord, me can't take it no more and
Right.
Granny, stop hollering down. And he was that type of producer.
Yeah.
So when I used to go to him with the songs them with the big voice or whatever, because if you listen to the song Itsy Bitsy, it was more of a wanna Itsy Bitsy thing. It was like more of a big voice type thing. And
Okay.
then so um so the song Shelly Ann, just to give you a breakdown of how that came to be. At my school, I was like the top entertainer as the youth were in at the school. I used to bring all the DJs there in the barbecues and fetes and all of that.
Mhm.
So when they would have like a barbecue or a fete, they would call me. So they had this Miss Meadowbrook, which is a pageant, beauty pageant that they keep for all schools. So
Mhm.
I was a part of the bringing the entertainment for the Miss Meadowbrook pageant.
Mhm.
So there was a girl who entered Miss Meadowbrook, who she actually won. Her name was Shelly Ann.
Yeah.
And when in a pageant, each contestant has to do whatever talent they had, and her thing was being like a doing a skit or whatever. And
Okay.
a part of the skit is that she was telling everybody about, because she was also the head girl of the school, and she was telling everybody about the relationship that she have with the principal. And in the skit, she said the principal always said to her, "You see that girl, Shelly Ann?" And when we used to, it was so funny that every time we see her after that, we used to say, "Yo, that girl, Shelly Ann." And then Danny heard me one day saying it to her because she came up to the studio or whatever,
Mhm.
and him say, "Yo, that is the song, Go home and write that song." And I went home and I penned it, and me and Madanjo penned it, and
Yes.
yeah, Madanjo was the writer for Main Street, so he gave me pointers of what to say and what to do in the song. And
Okay.
when I went to Danny and sang it for him drop off of the chair and say, "Yo, boss,
Yeah.
one of the biggest song that." And funny enough, when
Mhm.
I recorded the song and I left Jamaica, because at that time my father was living in the Cayman Islands, and I left Jamaica to go over there, and I started working in the supermarket over there called Foster's.
Okay.
And the song released, and I didn't know, and was the number one song in Jamaica. And Degree called me and said, "Yo, Rat, you need to come back to Jamaica." And I said, "Degree for what?" And he
Yeah.
said, "Me now." And man said, "Dog, your song is the number one song in Jamaica." And I was like, "Oh no."
Crazy.
Crazy, crazy.
Yeah. Wow. And this was actually your second song that you recorded for Main Street at that time there?
Yep.
And that's the song just took off like that.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so then I guess it's because the first time you tried to give them the big heavy voice and that
Yeah.
wasn't really working. You said, okay, more gimmicks. Start
Yes.
and would Shelly Ann had Oh No in that song there also? Or you
Yeah.
didn't come up with that yet?
Yeah. So how Ono came about now is when I was recording that girl Shelly I know, and then there was a line in the first verse that I said, "You squeeze her head and her leg them open." After I said the line, I start laughing in the recording in the voice recording booth, and I went, "Oh, oh no!" And Danny said, "Yo, that's your catchphrase. Keep that saying that all over and over in the song. Anytime you say something funny like that or something, cheeky like that, say oh no." And that's how oh no came about.
Just like that.
Just like that.
That is so great. Again, especially something that would be synonymous with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You didn't plan it. You didn't say, okay, I'm gonna try this. Oh man, you know what? And it worked.
That's how it works, man. Like in Main Street, I've seen it happens time after time after time. Like, Lord, me can't take it no more was a joke. It was a joke that all of us was running in the studio, and Danny was always keen to certain things like that to be like, yo, let's go in the studio to do that.
Mhm. Or at least try it and see what happens.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
there's many ideas that was tried at Main Street that never worked, but none of them connect.
Yeah. And who was the original Main Street crew at that time there?
Okay, so Main Street Crew it wasn't a crew until myself, Goofy, Hawkeye, and Madanjo formed the crew, because what happened was on the Scandal rhythm, there was only young artists on the rhythm. None of the big artists them have a voice. So the only when the rhythm come out is Goofy was the one that took the rhythm from Danny, because I don't think Danny was even gonna put out the rhythm. So Goofy took the rhythm with me, my song Shelly and his song Fudgy. Madandra had a song on the rhythm and Hawkeye had a song on the rhythm, and took it to Irie FM, and because he and Biggie had a friendly relationship, and he gave it to Biggie, and Biggie loved it, and he played it the Friday, and by Monday morning it was the biggest song in Jamaica.
That's so wild. And then that's how you guys formed the crew.
So because of that, now we became the two hottest the hottest things in Jamaica, and we decided at the time, you had Shocking Vibes crew and you had Scare Them crew. So let's build our own crew and call it Main Street Crew. At the time, Degree and Buccaneer and all of them didn't want it to be a part of the crew, because the difference between Main Street Crew and every other crew is that each artist was their own star in their own right.
Yes.
Because in Shocking Vibes, it was Beenie Man and the Shocking Vibes crew. Not saying that, Devontae and Tonto Metro and all of them wasn't stars in their own right. But when you see a Sumfest flyer or any big show flyer, it was Beenie Man, Shocking Vibes, Bounty Killer, Scare Them, and then Red Rat, Buccaneer, Degree, Lady G, Papa. It was everybody there in their own right as a star. And then when Main Street within itself, when the whole crew became the biggest crew in outer dancehall, that's when everybody embraced it, and it's Main Street Crew.
As Main Street Crew, wow. And who exactly is in or was in Main Street Crew at that time there?
It was Red Rat, Goofy, Hawkeye, Madanjo, Lady G, Buccaneer, General Degree, Papa San, Lieutenant Stitchy, Chrissy D, Chico, Alazid, Kiprich.
That's how big the crew was, boss?
Yeah, I don't think I left out anybody. Hopefully I didn't.
Yeah, that's like about 13 of you guys right after that.
Yeah, man.
I didn't realize, I know the Lady G part and all of that, the Hawkeyes and stuff like that, but I didn't realize that Papa
Richie Stevens too. Sorry, I forgot about Richie and Junior Tucker. So it's like 15 of us. Because I remember the first time we went to Costa Rica, everybody came, and the whole plane was full of us, and it was like, yeah, this is a movement right here. So we started the movements from back in the day. So that's why now when we have this new movement called Mogul Movements, everybody know what we could do and want to be a part of the movement.
Yeah, definitely. We're getting there soon because that's our updated version. But we got to definitely deep dive into this Main Street Crew here, because as I said, I didn't realize that Papa San and Stitchy was a part of Main Street Crew also.
Yeah, man. They were the original members. It was Stitchy, Papa San, Junior Tucker, and General Degree. And then Papa San brought Lady G in, and then Richie Stevens came in, and because I've been there from as a kid, I saw everything how it started.
So what year did Main Street actually really start, and then it turned into a crew then?
The Main Street first hit song was Granny with General Degree. That's when Danny was in Bloodfire Posse. Danny was the band leader of Bloodfire Posse. He played the guitar in Bloodfire Posse. And when the group mashed up, he decided to become a producer, and that's when he started Main Street. But the crew, Main Street Crew, started when we bust in '96.
Listen, again, you just hear the music, you play it and stuff, because I was a DJ back then playing it, but you don't really understand how deep this really went.
Yeah, man.
With Danny Brownie being in Bloodfire Posse, had no idea about that.
Wow.
None. That wasn't even a thought.
Yeah, man. He was the band leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You learned something new. All right, so then let's...
So I guess you didn't know that the bass player of Rough Cut Band was also in Bloodfire Posse. You didn't know that.
No, okay.
All right,
I
hold
see
up,
where this is going today. I see.
hold up. Let me give you a bigger one.
Yeah.
Did you know that Lenky that plays piano was in Bloodfire Posse too?
No.
But he got into Bloodfire when the original keyboardist died,
Yeah.
and then Danny brought him in, and he was in Bloodfire as well.
And then now it's like they turned out to be their own super producers in their own right.
Yeah, man. Scatter was the last singer of Bloodfire Posse before they broke up.
That I do know. You know what I mean? Because I remember Jaro playing a lot of scatter. And that's
Yes.
basically he was telling you the story. Okay, yeah, this is where he came from. So that part I do know.
Yeah.
But the rest, no idea. You know what I mean? Wow. Okay, so your
Full of
first
history, man. We're full of history.
crazy. And your first bona fide hit was Shelly Ann.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did that song do for your career right out the gate?
It was actually the best thing that ever happened to me because it went number one globally. On every reggae charts globally, it was a number one record.
Mhm.
And also it was number one on some major charts as well. The BBC charts, it was number one. When we went to Notting Hill Carnival for the first time, I was number one, Whitney Houston was number two, Goofy was number three, and I was number four or number five, I think, with Big Man Like You. So, you know, I mean, as a kid from I was still in high school, and it was, you know, if I didn't to be honest with you, if I didn't see artists come and go, it probably would have, you know, run to my head, and I probably wouldn't have been here today.
Yeah.
But you know, I give God the glory because without Father God, nothing possible in a life, brother.
Yeah, I hear you 110%. So after Shelly Ann, what was the next song for you, or what direction did you decide to say, okay,
Oh
take your
Lord,
career?
oh Lord! When Degree called me, I said Shelly Ann the biggest song in Jamaica. Before I even reached back to Jamaica, I had like 5 records ready. So after Shelly Ann, I said to myself, all right, I have the girl version, so definitely I forgot to do the counteraction feed to the man version. So
Yeah.
as soon as I went back to Jamaica, I recorded Duane, and when Duane dropped, Duane was number one for like 10 months straight.
Crazy. Okay, get
Yeah.
into that now. How did you decide to flip it from Shelly Ann to Dwayne? How did you even come up with that there?
I mean, being around producers like, you know, Danny and Steely and Clevie, you kind of see how they work and understand the business from certain aspects. So when you get a huge success with certain things, you have to ride with it and know exactly what you're doing. Because for me, I was one of the first to start calling names in dancehall, like Shelly Ann. So I was like, all right, keep the names going. So I went, you know, Duane, and I went Charlene, and I went Mix Up Melissa, and you know, I that was my thing.
Yeah.
So and also a lot of artists used to, whenever they have a girl song, they would counteract their own songs and do the man version, and it only made sense for me to go Duane when I did the song Duane. And funny enough, when I came back and Danny was like, yo, you're a big star now, and let's do our next single to follow up, Shelly Ann, he didn't like Duane. When I sang Duane for him, he did not like Duane for nothing. That's why it was recorded on Buccaneers label.
Okay, so that's not a Main Street production.
That's not a Main Street production. That was recorded on Buccaneers label. So the next Main Street song was probably 3 songs after, because I did Duane after that, and then I went to Steely and Clevie and I recorded Good Boy.
Yeah.
And then Main Street put out Rich Rhythm, which is Big Man Liquor Youth with me and Goofy.
Boss. Wow. And then you circle back to Main Street.
To Main Street with Big Man Liquor Youth. And then after that, I came to him again with Tight Up Skirt, and he didn't like it either. And so I went back to Buccaneer. So my 2 biggest records is from Buccaneer.
That is crazy. And Buccaneer was original part of Main Street, but he had his own thing on the side also.
Yeah, he started to do his own production thing where you do the opera thing and all of that. And yeah, I gave him his first hit record, which was Duane. And then, you know, me and Buccaneer have a different relationship than everybody else in Main Street, because he's like my brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We go through, you know, whole heap of things together, and you know what I mean, up to today day, he's like one of my, you know, my best friends, my brother. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely big it up. So, okay, we have Shelly Ann, Dwayne under your belt here. When did you actually start flying and performing these songs to see how it was to actually test it out on a stage and how people actually reacted it off the radio?
So that song was released, I would say, in October of '96, and then it started mash up the place, and then we started to do like, you know, shows around the country, like, you know, we went to Mandeville and we went to, you know, certain places, and the buzz was getting so big from out of Jamaica that people started to call all over the world, you know what I mean? And then my first time ever flying out of Jamaica is we did a concert in Boston. That's the first time I ever left Jamaica. In the cold in December, it was December 6th, 1996. I remember that. Cool. It was Main Street Crew, me, Goofy, Hawkeye, Madanjo, Buccaneer, Degree, and Anthony B.
Okay.
And the first time I run out, and I learned a trick from Beenie Man. I always tell people, like, I learned how to put the difference between us and the new artists them nowadays is that we wanted to learn, so we didn't feel no way to ask any of the older artists how you do this and how you do that. So I always credit Beenie Man for teaching me how to perform. Beenie Man and Ninja Man taught me how to perform. They don't even know that. So we used to go on the stage, and then when I sang Shelly Ann and got the reaction, that's when we realized, all right, these records are huge. And then after Boston, it was a three show weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Saturday, no, we left Boston on a Friday and went to New York on Saturday. And I did Q Club. Man,
in Queens.
When I went to Q Club, brother, and when we pull up and see the line wrap around the block about 3 times, and them say, yo, inside rum. That's when you know, say, all right, yeah. That's some big song there. And then we did Actory on Sunday, which was in Bronx, and the 3 show them was sold out. And from there we start flying all over the world.
Yeah, and this time you just had 2 songs, or you only had 1 song out at this time there?
We had we had Shelly Ann, Good Boy was bubbling, Big Malika Youth was bubbling, and then I just recorded Dwayne, but it never catch yet. So when we do Dwayne now, we did a show in Mirage nightclub. This is before Sting, in December, same way. It was Main Street Crew and Club Ram, same way. And I tried out the song, and that was one of the fastest records to bust for me as well. When I tried out the song, the whole place lit. And then Buccaneer put it out, and the DJs them get it already, and blah blah blah. So this is where the performance thing come in, where Beenie Man taught me, where when we did Sting, we only had that's when Shelly Ann and Fudgy was the 2 biggest records. Beenie Man said to me, say, listen, you have 2 songs with the people them know. Start with your biggest song. I mean, I say, I'm mad. I'm going to start with Shelly. You're mad. We can't start with Shelly Ann. That the people them come fear. The man said, trust me, I have another song for back it up. And I never forget that to this day.
Yeah.
So every time I go on the stage, I start with my biggest record.
Yeah. Because it's like you just want to capture them right away, and then we'll worry about anything else from there. But you see these first
once you have the people, then you can do anything, brother.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so I didn't realize in between Shelly Ann and Dwayne that Big Man Little Youth, and what was the other one was recorded also?
Good Boy.
Good Boy.
We are trying to be a good boy, you know. Whatever way we go, yeah, man. Yeah.
Crazy song. So that caught on after Dwayne, that even though it was released first.
Yeah, it was bubbling. I mean, all them songs seem like it all dropped one time.
Yeah.
In people's mind, because the span of the records, they didn't just come and fade away. They was still, even when Dwayne bust, Shelly Ann was still a big song. And when Tight Up Skirt bust, Dwayne and Shelly Ann was still big, and Tight and Big Malika Youth was a big record, and Cruise and Wrigley's and Charlene and Pretty Car Eye and Kias, all of these records was big records at the same time. So even though it was even, like, realistically, it was a span between 96 to 99, because 99 was when me and Street Crew dissolved because Danny Brownie became a Christian. So all of that happened.
You're moving too fast, you know, Red Rat.
All right.
We're gonna get there, you know.
Sorry, brother. But yeah, but that's the thing, is like all these songs was just dropping at, you know, back to back to back to back, and because none of them never flop, all of them was just hitting back to back right away. You know what I mean? You have some artists that you put out they put out a hit song and then drop 2 songs and it alright, and then them find back another one and then 2 more. With me, it was back to back to back to back.
Yeah. So you'd say like in that 4-year time there, which was like a 96 to a 99, a 3-4 year was really where you would say that was where you got the bulk of your career right there. That those
Absolutely. When Oh No It's Red Rat came out in 1997 now, which was my first album, that was one of the albums in dancehall. I had 15 tracks on that album, and 13 of the 15 went #1 somewhere across the world.
Crazy.
Yeah, and as a little youth, I always aspired to be like, because only 2 albums you can compare with Oh No It's Red Rat, and it's Shabba Ranks X-Rated, and Buju Banton Miss Mention, where every song was a hit song on the album, you know. And that's what I aspired to be as a little youth, because I used to look up to them artists there and wanted to be, you know, when me boss me want to make sure say everybody know me and everybody, you know, wanted to, you know, Red Rat was for them artists. So you know, Father God bless me to you know, stay focused, because a lot of, let me tell you this, brother, you know much artists diss me. I say, oh, yeah, look a red uptown boy and a country I come from, in a dog. Remember one artist diss me wicked already, and I never call him name yet. And man, yo, come out of music business, man. You're not going to bust in this, man. And I live to see him come back and apologize. You know what I mean? So I mean, I went through it, but it was a great feeling for know, say, yo, me accomplish something when me didn't really want to accomplish in the dancehall.
All right, that's big, dear. Because with your album, your first album, you said, what was the name of the first album?
Oh No It's Red Rat.
What was that process like recording that album? Because did you have out all the singles before and then it was some new songs you're putting on the album, or was it something totally different?
Because my break was so quick. What happened was Danny was trying to do the album, but because all of these songs was recorded, because I came back with when I came back to Jamaica, I was loaded with songs.
Yeah.
So I was just recording and never spent time to say I'm gonna sit down and work on an album per se. So all these songs was compiled for the album. No Live Nowhere was recorded specifically for the album, which is Street Side of My Bass. Cruising Down the Girls Them Highway, that was recorded specifically for the album. If a girl want try, tell her she not get no black and for you. That was specifically recorded for the album.
Okay.
Buju B and Red Rat was recorded for both albums, because Buju was working on his album at the time, and I got to use it for my album at the time too. So that was, those 4 tracks was specifically recorded for the album, but everything was just songs that made the record for Steely and record for everybody else, and then you just compile everything into one
and put it on one. And what did the album do for you for your career? Was it did it really take off, or what happened with the album?
Yeah, man. Oh No It's Red Rat is Greensleeve's biggest selling dancehall album to date. You know what I mean? So it's still selling, it's still doing what it's doing, and it was one of those staple albums that everybody remember. If you never have it on vinyl, you have it on cassette, or you have it on CD. I've been places where people pull it out for me to sign. You know what I mean? So, you know, I that definitely put me and stamped me definitely into dancehall as one of dancehall's, you know, biggest artists.
And was that the one where you had on the red jumper?
Absolutely. There you go. You remember it. And I actually, I thought I lost that red jumper, and I just found it like about 2 weeks ago.
Crazy.
So that's definitely, I'm gonna put that up somewhere.
That's crazy. And you even brought up Buju, because I forgot that you guys had done the song together, the Red Rat and Buju B. How did it feel like? Because remember, you said to me when you first started to record, you wanted that big, heavy Buju voice. How did it feel like going from a fan to Buju to now being a co-worker where we're actually recording a song together?
Man, bro, like the year before that, it wasn't. It was in '94 when in Boss '93. He was performing for Labor Day. Was it Labor Day or Independence Day at the Jamaica House? And we got the opportunity, because I used to be in a group called Wild Babies. And we got the opportunity to dance for Buju.
Okay.
And we was rehearsing the whole time, and at the end they switched us from dancing for Buju to dancing for Tony Rebel. So I didn't get a chance for dance with Buju, and I was like, yo, that was an opportunity in my mind that I missed.
Yeah.
And when all those songs came out in '96, Buju is the one that actually tell Jeremy and to call Danny Brownie because he wanted to do a song with me for his album, because I was the hottest artist at the time in the world.
Yeah.
And I was dumbfounded because Buju was a mentor, and I'm still somebody we will look up to as an artist. And when we go down there, I was scared. I was shaking, because you're gonna meet somebody where you look up to for years. And because Mr. Mention actually was one of them albums that I used to use that album to practice.
Okay.
I know all of them lyrics, every song. I tell you, all of the flows, all the drop and the A and everything. We know everything. So when I walk in, it was me and him alone in the studio with the engineer, and I was so starstruck that I would say 80-90% of the song was written by Buju, because my brain just wasn't working at the night. Yeah. But the vibe was so nice, and him Buju, because he wanted me to use a big voice. Actually, Buju was like, yo, don't make them stuck, the big, the little picnic thing, just change your voice on the record, Red Rat. And I said, boy, DJ, no.
Yeah.
And, him get voted out. Everybody was like, nah, man, him style hot, so make him keep using him style. And the greatest thing about that recording, though, is this never happened to me before and never happened to me afterwards.
Okay.
So after we finish writing the song and we're about to record the song now, I was like, all right, make him go first and then me go afterwards. And Buju was like, no. So they set up 2 microphones in the recording booth, and we were recording the song at the same time.
Okay. No. Generally with vocals, you wouldn't get 2 vocals at the same. You get the band would pay everything, so you'd have 7 mics and all those stuff there. But singing vocals, you have the backup. And
we was recording that at the same time, bro, and that never happened to me afterwards or before that, and I always remember that, because it was just a moment in my career that you can't say, boy, you did it.
Yeah,
you did it. The great Buju Banton, and I'm doing something with somebody that I look up to as a little youth. You know what I mean?
That's true. And in that moment there, when the album came out, give me another highlight of either recording the album, going somewhere, something about that time there that you remember so vividly to this day.
Man, when we did the album release party in London, my virgin, I'm tell you this. And this is where people dubbed me the Jamaican Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Bro, we did BBC interview. I was being interviewed on BBC. So we drove in and nobody was on the street. We jumped out the car and walked into BBC. Went upstairs, David Radigan. Boom, interview, blah, blah, blah. And everything are going nice, and new album out and it's hottest album, blah, blah, blah. People calling in, yeah, I love you, blah, blah, blah. So when the interview finished, the security ran come upstairs and said, listen, we have to figure out how we're going to get this man out of this building. So I'm like, what do you mean? What go on? The man said, just look out that window. Brother, he said, me look out the window, the whole place full of people, and when me look out some young lady, I'm like, wow.
Whoa.
And that used to happen to me in every city that I went to for the first time. First time I went to Costa Rica, first time I went to Uganda, and it happened everywhere.
That's so wild. And again, remember, this is something you're just at this time here, you're just 2 or 3 years into your career this time here.
I was still a teenager.
I can't even believe that. And you were still in school at this time here too?
When Shelly Ann came out, I still was in school, but I left school like right afterwards.
Yeah, and touring the world and stuff. Wow, that's what we've got. And give me one time, probably a recording session with somebody from that same album.
Who else was on the album? With that there's one session I remember as well was the song "If a Girl Want Try Tell Her She Not Get No Blind." That was my first time producing. Danny allowed me to produce that song on the album.
Okay.
So I came with the idea. He was the one that built most of the rhythm and everything, and he sing the background and make Chrissy D come sing something. But also doing the song "No Live Nowhere," recording it with Chrissy D singing, and just seeing the process of most of the instruments on that song is vocals. Boom, 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 boom. That's Danny doing his, and then Chrissy D singing the harmonies and all of that was an amazing moment for me too, because that's one of my favorite records of all time.
Yeah, big there. All right, this is when Oh No It's Red Rat. This is the first one here. So then, how much time was it between Oh No It's Red Rat and I'm a Big Kid Now? How much time?
I think that was like 3 or 4 years, maybe. I think. It was 3 years, because what happened was now we get into why Main Street mash up. So in 99, Danny decided that he wanted to give him life to Christ, so he became a Christian. Okay. And decided, one day everybody was just chilling at the studio, and him say, yo, him a call a meeting, and everybody went in, and him say, yo, him get the call in, so him have to go move. And at the time, I mean, you can't wrong a man for the choices we're making in life. So I gave him in blessings. Couple people did upset. Couple people gave him in blessings, and at the time everybody was superstars, and then everybody started to do their own production thing. Goofy became a producer. Degree, me, Buck. Everybody started to do their own production thing, and I think I said this to them all the time that we shouldn't have breaking up, because we could have stayed together and even let Shams, who was Danny's nephew, Shams, the producer that did Can't Sleep, Bodies and all them rhythm there.
Okay.
We should have let him, still keep the crew together. But, everything happened for its own purpose, and we all went our separate ways. And then I started to work on I'm a Big Kid Now, because I was signed to Greensleeve with Oh No It's Red Rat. And, I owed them another album. So, I start going into the studio, and I did what I could as a young producer at the time, and finished the project, and, went to England, presented to them. They loved it. We did the photo shoot and everything and started to promote that. And then my first child was born. So after the I'm a Big Kid Now album, I kind of took myself away from the industry for a couple of years, because I wanted to grow her and let her know who her daddy was, and be there in some aspects of to be a father figure somewhat.
And was it easier to make that decision since the mentor, the big man, Danny Brownie, had gone? So then now you're basically out here on your own. So for you to decide that, okay, I could take time from my career now to go raise a family was much easier than if Danny was still around?
Not necessarily. I've learned a lot from being around Danny Brownie and Steely and Clevie and all of them, because I used to be the one that would be in the studio absorbing everything, learning how to be an engineer, learning how to, seeing how them produce other artists, while everybody outside cracking jokes and, doing what they do. I was always there, learning. So after he made that transition, it was easier for me, because I understood how to get it done. So I started my own crew. I had Brad Camp, so I started to record Psycho and Madish, and another female artist by the name of Feisty, and also my brother. His name was Genius at the time.
Okay.
So we did a couple songs here and there. I did Pink Lotion Rhythm, which was my first production.
Yes.
Yeah, and voice Beenie Man and Spragga Benz and all of that. And then after that, I did Rat Patrol Rhythm, which also gave Mad Andrew one of his biggest hit. Me no play chess cause you have to check, man. A police alone get purification, man. So I started to produce at the time, and then after that, I finished the album and everything, and then my first year with Bond, and then I was touring for every weekend. You know what I mean? For 4 or 5 years straight. And then I just wanted to chill.
Yeah. And that makes sense because remember, you were fresh out of high school. You didn't get a time to really know yourself as an adult. And you're on these stages for like 4 or 5 years straight. You know what I mean? You don't you're not seeing your regular friends, your family members, your wife or girlfriend or whoever at that time because it's nonstop work. So then now for somebody that's at the tip top of their game, for them to take time out to raise their family, that's a hard decision in itself, because did you think the industry would wait for you, or you knew that the industry is something that continues to move no matter where you are in your career?
I mean, there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that a lot of people didn't know, and I didn't know until the whole Main Street thing got dissolved. At the time, Main Street was the biggest thing, and we was at the tipping point of crossing over into the Main Street market. Filthy Rhythm is and still one of the biggest rhythm that crossed over into the international market, and it was at that time that he decided to make his transition.
Yeah.
So after all of that, I've learned that there was at least 3 or 4 companies that wanted to sign me at the time, but he didn't want them to sign me directly. He wanted them to sign me through Main Street so he could get a distribution deal.
Okay.
And then it was afterwards, when all of that gone, and then I started to take time for myself. That's when I learned that that this label wanted to sign you and that label wanted to sign you. So I was furious at the time, and I was very angry about certain business decisions that I made as a child.
Yeah.
And learning that certain things happen where you never expect to happen because this man is family and all of these things. So I was very, very angry, and I just took myself away. And I thought at the time that a me name or my name, so my space always gonna be there because there's nobody like Red Rat.
Mm-hmm. No.
And it opened the space for Lexus to bus, and then Zebra go bus, and the whole spectrum changed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like in the time when I stopped, it was from she was born 99. I didn't do anything until 2004, like to come back and say I'm about to do music again.
So it was a good solid 5 years.
Good solid. I mean, I used to do shows here and there because I've always been performing somewhere. You know what I mean? Because since I bust till to this day, every year I have a #1 somewhere in the world. Even if it never played in Jamaica or never played in the ethnic markets, I have songs that I could, when I go to anywhere in Africa, I have songs that you probably never hear before.
Yeah.
But I used to do that, but I was never doing the music. And then when I decided, say in 2003, say, all right, we are gonna go back to it now. And we had Rata Castle. I started a label with a manager at the time, Scoffrey.
Okay.
And we built a studio and with a start produce and the vibe. And 2004, we got an opportunity to do Sumfest after never doing Sumfest for so long.
Okay.
And that Sumfest, I kind of had to prove myself. And when I went to the rehearsals, I'm not tooting my own horn, but me, I one of the baddest performers in the world,
for sure,
right? So I had a concept of how I wanted to do Sumfest.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to the rehearsals with Rough Cut and tell them the idea, the man them laugh off of me. The man them say, yo, Rat, we are trying them and just compile your hit song them together and do a quick medley and come off of the stage.
Yeah.
That Sumfest, I did 5 new songs.
Okay.
Only 5 new songs. I did not do none of my hits. I did 5 new songs and mash up the whole place. That year it was me, Maka Diamond, and Anthony B took Sunfest that year.
Yeah.
That was the year when I was in the Matrix, the red Matrix suit.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
And from start to finish, straight forward, and I never sing one song when nobody knows.
Yeah. Okay, and that wasn't the plan going in, or that's what you?
No, that was my plan. That was my plan. I decided that, yo, listen, I'm gonna show people, say, me not need a hit song for mash up, no show. I'm not going to depend on the songs them that I had. I'm gonna show you how skill means as an artist, or bad means as an artist, because a lot of people kind of underrated me in that time and be like, yo, you're done, and you know. Yeah, you was a kid star. You know what I mean? Your time done, and I was destined to prove to these people like, yo, Uno don't determine my success. And me determine that, and Father God determined that. So the production of what we did was very creative from start to finish. I remember when I think it was Big A who was introducing me. He must say, yo, next on stage. He said, it was right after, I remember this too, it was right after Deli Ranks was doing Jiggy Time with voicemail.
Yes.
So I had like six dancers and 4 backup singers. You know D Major?
Yeah.
D Major was in a group called QT.
Didn't know that.
So QT is they kind of spawned off of TOK. Okay. But they only did like R&B songs, so they was huge in the high school sections, because they used to go do Boys to Men, and the girls them used to mud over them. Yeah. So and in Street Side of My Bass video, they was also in the video as the backup singers. So I took them as my backup singer, and I had like 4 or 5 dance expressions.
Yes.
So we created a skit from start to finish. So Jiggy Time was the biggest song at the time, and they was performing, and we was at the gate pulling in with the bus, and they were saying, yo, only Red Rat alone can come in, the rest of them have to steal, because Sharon Burke had her armbands, and you know that's something to go when you're there stage show and bag a mix up and rare. I've decided, say, yo, if I'm not gonna perform how I planned it, me nah go inside, me nah perform none at all. And I heard them on the radio, all right, well, make him stay out there, then we call on the next artist, and blah blah blah, and with us at the time when I was talking with us, well, a reference, and I said, Father God, you know what's best. Yeah. And when Jiggy Time them a sing the song and it had done, I'm here, love for no me Sharon Burke said, let him in. So they open the door, they open the gate at Sunfest, and we driving in, and the MC on the mic says, so ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for Beenie Man? And the place go, are you ready for Bounty Killer? Well, next on stage, Red Rat. This when he said that, bro, you can hear a pin drop. The place was so quiet. Me, Raman say, yo, jerk chicken, yo, you could have heard everything. And we're like, the bus door open, no, and everybody run out. And just the start of the show alone was epic. One of the dancers, the female dancers, one of the female dancers walked out in a full white dress, and she walked up to the crowd, and there was a spotlight on her, and she took up her book, and she says, welcome, friends and visitors to Jamaica. And tonight I'm going to teach you about the Jamaican culture. Yeah. The culture of Jamaican, the Jamaican females, people love to come to Jamaica because of our culture, and also because of the Jamaican females. And she said the Jamaican females, one of the dancers, them come out in a purple hairstyle and stay so. I walk on the stage. And the Jamaican females are so eloquently spoken. I hear she say, Lurleen, you know somebody has some face and the and she said, and also the eloquent way of how our Jamaican men speak to our ladies. And you see the Rastaman from expressions, Arville walk out and see us across the knee and say, yo, Skeleton, come here. From that, you see how you laughing? Everybody was on the ground laughing. And
I understand.
And when we run out and we do my thing, it was an epic performance, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It was one of them performances. And to this day, I can't find it. I asked Winfred them to find the footage, but I'm dying to get that footage.
It will be around somewhere. And it's the thing that you really realize is there's a clear difference between recording a song and performing a song.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't get that, because I think somebody in your career right now, if you were to stop recording music, say even up to 15 years ago, you could go on and perform for the rest of your life.
Yes. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I was blessed with a catalog that stand the test of time. You know what I mean? My catalog.
I like that. Catalog.
Yeah, man. A catalog, man. When I deal with catalog. Yeah, man. So in my catalog, I can say I have at least 5 records that plays in every clubs every night.
For sure. For sure.
You know what I mean? So I mean, I've been blessed.
And that's so crazy. And what do you find is the biggest difference with the industry back then to right now?
A whole heap of things, you know, because of the everybody have Pro Tools, everybody can go buy a Pro Tools or a Ableton or whatever. The production quality is not as you know, great as what it was back then. Because for us, if one line needed to change into the song to make the song perfect, we would go back and finish it.
Yeah.
But now each producer now is sending the rhythm to the artist, and the artist voicing himself.
Mm-hmm.
And an artist not going to be critical within himself to know, say, yo, you know, say that line I need to change, because to an artist, every line are the baddest line.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that understanding to know, say, yo, this need to change, that need to change, you need to pitch that more, that key that was off key and all of that. So the quality of the productions is down. Also, the camaraderie that we had back in the days where everybody are bridging. If Danny have a rhythm, or Shams have a rhythm, or Clevie have a rhythm, everybody go, yo, me would have called Ellie and say, yo, Ellie, the Clevie, the Shelly and Clevie have a rhythm, or yo, Assassin, you need to come check me up at various studio. And then all of us was in there helping each other to finish write a song, or while it's producing, or you know, changing a line, or yo, we need some crowd, and all the way as big artists in the same thing, I help each other. Like I always tell people this, like if you listen to every song that came out of Main Street, my voice was in there in every song. Okay. Yeah. If you listen to it, my voice is in there. If you hear traffic blocking, go on, you see that, go on, that was me.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Every record, if you listen to every single record, I'm in there.
Yeah.
So that's missing right now, because every man is them a me name, what me name, and me, I'm my own big man, and the boy can't tell me nothing. That's why, Red Rock them one day are all artists. We not gonna ask them nothing now, because I've been trying to reach out to a couple of these young artists to try to teach them how to perform, because none of them can perform.
The art of performing has gone by the wayside.
And it's because they don't want to take no telling. They don't want to hear from somebody like me that would give them pointers, like, oh, Beenie Man give me pointers, and Ninja Man give me pointers, and them get pointers from everybody else. You understand me? I said it has to evolve into everybody helping each other. That's the only way it can work.
Yeah. No, and you're right, because that's me personally. I find that that's what's really missing, is because one time you get the song, that's cool. Then either the artist is going to DJ it live on a Stone Love, a Metromedia, or Jar, or whatever the case is. But then after that, then you're going to have Champions in Action, Sting, GT Taylor Extravaganza, all of these shows where now we can't wait to go see it perform. But there is no, this is just me personally, I don't find that there's no excitement to see a show like, holy smokes, I can't wait to see what they're going to do at this show.
No, the only time you're excited to see a performance is a 90s show.
Yeah.
And 90s for the past couple of years, the only show that's guaranteed to be a packed event is a 90s event.
Yeah.
You understand? And then you're going to see the artists them that's going to sound the same way how them sound on the record. Like nowadays, if they're using so much auto-tune and so much different sounds, when they go on stage, they're not sound like the same person.
Yeah.
So it defeats the element of seeing the person live. And then also, I remember I did one of these young artists, I rate him at everything, and I went to one of his concerts to see him perform a specific song. And for the whole night, him pull up. And then when it reached the song with me, I'm like, yo, if this man pull up the song with me, pay my money for come see him and him pull up the song and come off my stage, I don't want to see him back again. And he did exactly that.
Just like that. And that's the art right now. It's either sing a couple long lines, pull up, or sing a couple lines and the crowd sings the rest. There's no interaction. Even the style of dressing, the only show that's left with the style of dressing is Sumfest. That's the only one from me personally looking around. But everything else is just, you just get up and you go and we sing 2 songs and pull up, you go over, and there's no energy behind it.
There's no putting nothing into your craft. I've seen artists like Beenie Man in the middle of in performance just drop the mic on the floor and start tap dancing.
Yeah.
No, them have them craft. And me, in the middle of my show when I want to take a breather, I just take up an instrument and start playing it.
Yeah. And they don't realize that those are crafts to the craft. You understand? So people think you're just entertained, but it's like, yo, I need 5 minutes. I'm tired. I can't sing anymore. Give me 5 minutes. And again, those are little intricate details that most people have no clue.
Man.
Part of the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy. Let's go through this Main Street stuff here. So you said that 99, Danny Browning became Christian. And then this is when the entire group split up.
Yeah.
So at that time there, where's the catalog? What happens to the catalog? And where did everybody basically go?
Well, most of the masters was owned by, Danny Main Street, or, they license it to VP or Greensleeves. So most of these masters are owned by these people. But we're working on something too as well. So can't talk about that. But everybody went their own separate ways. Everybody started their own thing. Me, Dick Koofy had Young Bloods, Degree had Size 8. Buccaneer at Opera House Music. So everybody just went their own separate ways and took a different path. That's everybody took their own different path. And right now, I'm here.
You're here.
And everybody there.
I hear you 100%. And do you still live in Jamaica or you live somewhere else now?
No, I live I'm back and forth between Jamaica and Miami. But right now I'm in Miami quarantined.
You're in Miami quarantine. And what year or how long ago did you move to Miami?
As my seminarily moved to Miami, I'm back and forth between, because I have places all over the place. So I'd be staying in Jamaica. I have to go to Jamaica because my kids are in Jamaica. And then my mother lives in the Cayman Islands. And then I'm here with my partner who we have Mogul Movements and Mogul Beats. And we do various different things from a business aspect. So I'm always on a plane.
Okay, so then that's coming from the Miami side. Let's talk about that because I know that's now your newest venture, as in I think in about 5 years ago you started that there?
Well, Mogul Movements worldwide started in 2009, where we started as a label, and then we ventured out into doing our own concerts and shows. Because I was tired of, hearing a producer calling and say, yo, so you're not on a new song, so I feel like this you forget. Because I think that, the crowd are gonna come, and then I used to listen and be like, all right, if you say so. And then when I reached to the venue, it packed. And then, so now me have to fight with the man for yo, listen, the numbers don't add up. So, and people used to try to use that craft with me from time to time until I just got fed up with them and just keep my own show and realize that when you keep the people I'm gonna come, it's not you why the people I'm coming, it's me. It's me them want to see. And then after we started doing that, we did a couple of other ventures, doing our own tours and all of that. And then we just started Mogul Beats, which is we started to write and produce, venturing into different genres of music. And when I say me, I'm talking about my partner Pascali, who is also a singer as well. We started to write and produce all different genres of music. We just finished doing like a year or two in the Spanish music, in the Spanish reggaeton. We worked with DJ Buddha, Mafio, who is like the Kanye West of the Spanish music. So we did a lot of those things. So now we started Mogul Beats, where we are now doing our thing, with everybody else because we used to work on other people's label.
Got
So
it.
this now is our own writing and production team, and Quarantine Rhythm is the first production out of Mogul Beats.
Yeah. The funny thing with it, since we're talking about it, I heard the song Bubbling, but when I knew, okay, there's something here, is when I heard Tony Matron play that the other night in the soundtrack. I said, oh, okay, all right, I see what's going on here. How did
Yeah,
you
man.
guys even connect and make that happen there?
I mean, I guess it all spawned from being in quarantine and you know, watching Netflix and all the TV shows. You get fed up and there's nothing else to watch on TV or do. So I was sitting down watching. I don't remember what I was watching, probably Game Show Network or something, and I heard Pascali walking around in the house, humming the melody, dun, 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 and she just doing her thing because that's how she does. And I was like, yo, listen, that bud, go into the studio right now and lay it down. So she went in the studio, she pulled up Ableton, and then she was playing the same melody, but she was using a flute.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden I just hear it switch from the flute to a violin, and I was like, that is it. That is it. And then she started to build the rhythm, and I went in there and I kind of help her and guide her and play some of the drum patterns or whatever, and she fill in all of the sounds. And when me hear the rhythm, I was like, yo, me have to jump on a rhythm.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So as soon as the rhythm done, me start. Well, even when she was building it, I was starting writing. What can I sing about now that is relevant to everybody? She girl locked me up, quarantine, can't come out, nobody can come in, right? And I recorded on the song and on the rhythm and everything. So she was, we sat down and said, all right, so how much people you want on the production here? That's the first thing, because juggling is not really that prevalent in a dancehall right now. But she said, well, that is what I think what's missing in dancehall. She come from that era there when she flew back from she used to live in Switzerland and flew back to the Bahamas when she was probably about 13, 14. So, and her introduction to dancehall was Lady Saw. Baby, are you up for this? So she grew up on Lady Saw and TOK and myself and General Degree and blah blah blah. And she loved that vibe there, and she missed that vibe, because to me, that's where dancehall stopped. From when we used to do what we used to do, and to where them other know, it still stop where we there.
Yeah.
So she said that's the vibe what she want to bring. So she said, all right, she loved TOK, so let's reach out to Basie because she wants somebody with a big voice on it. So reach out to Basie and send in the rhythm, and within no time, in like a day or two, him come back with an idea and say, yo, listen, I have this idea, and we'll look for a female artist on it. Show different ideas, and Pascali has always liked Tifa and respect how Tifa do our work or everything. So we set the base, we could try Tifa, and him say, yeah man, that will be perfect. And we reach out to Tifa, and as soon as she hear it, she say, yo, send it right away. And she went into the studio and do her thing. My brother heard I said, whenever I build, we build beats or whatever, there's a couple of people that we send it to just to get their opinion of what they think of it. So I send the rhythm to my brother, and I sent it to him like the night in probably about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock the night. And when I woke up in the morning, he sent back his song, like he recorded on the rhythm. And I was like, yo, that song I bought in it.
Yeah.
Then she was like, yo, listen, we need somebody hot. We need somebody that is hot in the industry, but also is relevant to what dancehall is. Yeah. And the only person that made sense was Ding Dong. Ding Dong is the king of dance right now. Plus he's the hottest artist right now. And me and we are good friends. We met him. I mean, she met him in Trinidad and everything. And the vibe was nice and everything. So we reach out to Ding Dong and send him the rhythm, and the man say, yo, this bad. And within no time, him come back with the idea, Madhead. But he said, yo, listen, I have this idea when they're Madhead, which is for all the pretty girls, them were head sick, no matter, but I mean, there's we know all of those type of girls. Pascali and Madhead as well. So. But he said he didn't want to sing the hook. He wanted a female to sing the hook. And again, we went through how many female artists, and you know, it didn't match to what he was looking for. So it boiled down to when he said, you know, Pascal, why don't you try to do it and let's see if it works. And she was kind of, you know, iffy about it, because if it didn't sound authentic enough, she didn't really want to do it. So she tried it and she knocked it out the park. And then, you know, she was the last person to record on the rhythm, because she said she can't have a rhythm and don't voice a song on it. And she came up with Hardcore Love, and to me is one of the baddest songs I heard from a female outside of the Caribbean in a long time. And I think that record is gonna be one of them crossover songs. So we're pushing the project right now as best as we can, stuck in quarantine, and you know, we're getting some crazy love and some major love from some big, you know, prominent DJs and selectors across the board. So we just want to big them up same way, you know what I mean?
Good. Because I seen a conversation you had with Not Nice. I think this was a little while ago.
About a month ago.
Yes, where he was speaking, where he was at almost like a crossroad, where he felt like he wasn't getting the support for the juggling in Jamaica. But then you turned around and said you felt the same way too, until you actually looked outside and understand, listen, this world is a big world out here. Even though Jamaica is the
epicenter of dancehall, where everything is.
Yes.
Yeah. But there's people that you know, that love the culture outside of, you know, what we know it as now in Jamaica, that continues to buy 45s, because records is still selling.
Okay.
45s and LPs is still pressing, and a lot of people don't know that. The people in UK buy 45s and still, you know what I mean? And they like the juggling culture, because that's just a different vibe. Like when the artists them buck up and you can run one rhythm and everybody are sing song on one rhythm for the whole time, that energy is different. You see it with the Beenie Man and Bounty Killer Clash, where the man them just go straight with one, you know what I mean? That's just a vibe that no other genre has. And I think the youth them not understand the value of what them have, so that's why them might try run away from it in some sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. What would you say was the pinnacle of your career so far?
I don't think the pinnacle is reached yet, you know, because I just proved to myself and everyone that, you know, not dead can dash it, because I'm still putting out hits. That plaque right there, you know, we just did 22 million streams on Spotify on a song that's never played one time in Jamaica.
Crazy.
You know, so I'm still doing what I do. It's a conscious decision when I decided to leave Jamaica at the time, about 12 years ago, when, you know, it was in the time of the Gaza Gully thing, where they must say, if you're not say Gaza, you're not say Gully. Then, when Bounty was like, if you're not say Alliance, you're Appliance. And, you know, and you know, I used to put out songs and people was not playing them, but I used to get calls from other countries that the song big in this country and it never played in Jamaica once. And we'd be flying every week. I'll see everybody were hot in Jamaica, me and them there at the airport, same way.
Crazy.
We flying out, and them wonder how we might fly, because I'm still putting out good music. Good music don't stop a man, manly.
At all.
Yeah.
At all. Crazy. Okay. So then this one, I asked you the pinnacle. What's been the biggest disappointment in your career so far? My
biggest disappointment. I use every disappointment as a learning tool. You know, so I don't really focus on negativity, you know. So if you gonna ask me that, I don't really have an answer for that, because I'm focusing on the positive aspect of anything negative happen, because you learn from it and you don't make the same mistakes again. I've made a lot of mistakes, so have everybody in the industry, you know what I mean? And for me to point out a mistake or a down point in my career would be not appreciating what I have now, you know what I mean? And I'm very appreciative that I'm still here after 20 something years in the industry, that I can still sell records.
Crazy. 22 million. And especially, what type of music was it?
It's EDM. It was a EDM Bombaton record that I did with DJ Buddha, and it was huge in the Spanish market. I just released another EDM track with Eva Shaw, who is she is like the wife of a big EDM DJ, Showtech.
Okay.
And it's doing very, very good right now. So I mean, I don't limit myself to just dancehall music, or I mean, I do every genre, and I'm going to be Red Rat on every genre. I'm not gonna try to rap, and I'm not gonna try to sing. I'm gonna be Red Rat, and that's why my music can go anywhere, because everybody knows who Red Rat is. Everybody know that sound. Everybody know the Ono, and I'm not trying to be anybody else but myself.
Yeah, makes total sense. One last question I have for you here. When it comes to your style, that same style that you've had throughout the years, do you think it's actually put you in a box, or that's what actually allowed you to escape the box?
I mean, would you put Snoop Dogg in a box? Snoop Dogg has been Snoop Dogg from the day Snoop Dogg come out, and the difference is because nobody sounds like Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Nobody sounds like Red Rat. There's only one Red Rat in this world. There's only one person with my sound, with my catchphrase, with my style of how I write. There's nobody else that's doing it, because it's not like them can't do it. It's just hard to do.
Yeah.
So until somebody capture the what Red Rat does, I'm gonna always be relevant and not be put in a box, because I am the box.
Yeah, makes 1000% sense, because you're the only person you're competing with is yourself. You're just trying to be
myself.
better than yesterday. It's not like, okay, there's 10 of us sharing this type of style. So
and I'm not trying to write a song bigger than Tight Up Skirt. I'm just writing another Tight Up Skirt.
Yeah, you would say that would be the biggest song of your career to this day.
Globally, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tight Up Skirt is my biggest record. I mean, Chris Brown just did over Tight Up Skirt. So
what are you talking about? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I just received the plaque for that one too. Chris Brown. Privacy.
Yeah.
In his record called Privacy. Hey, you got another tight up skirt. Bring the ass in the club and the door. Say that ass like boom chakalaka. That's Tight Up Skirt, bro.
Crazy guy. Crazy.
Yeah. And even the song that we just did with Chip from the UK with Steph London and Alkaline, that whole record is me. My girl, come true. That's Shelly Ann, and in the verse him go, me woulda see him. All the melodies was my melody. So
crazy.
We're still relevant, man.
Like 1000%. And what it is a lot of times it's what people don't understand about this industry. A lot of times, if I see you on the front page a lot, you're not really making as much money as this person that you're not really seeing a lot. So then it's either, do you want the fame, or are we trying to make some money? Because generally, fame and money generally don't go in the same.
No work together, because to get the fame, you have to spend money.
Yeah. You get it. Before I get you out of here, give me a wicked 90s medley before I get you out of here, please.
All right, boom. That one are deadly. Yes, it is deadly. That one I call the Red Rat medley. That one are deadly. Yes, it is deadly. That one I call boom. Sure. And that girl, Shelly Ann, she go like she nice enough. One bag of man, that girl, Shelly Ann, another that one, and this one, boom. Me woulda shame. Me and you a friend, but just me do weird. You can't have a girl and every night she complain. Me vex enough cause you a give man bad name. Oh no, hey, I mean she want to see you me cute. A muscle she want. She don't want to lick you. I mean she want look at me brown and sim. Which girl me at her? Oh no, hey you girl in the tight up skirt. You make me head swell to me blood vessel burst. Hey you girl in the tight up slot. You speed up 10 more. Just tell them to stop. Choop on your name like Wrigley's and take them nose out of your business stuff. Choop on your name like. Go tell them say me can't sleep. Me can't get fit doors off. Who mat rattle like beginner brother. Me can continue go and go. You know.
Listen, it's like one thing I noticed with somebody like you is you've done something, as we're gonna call it your name. Okay, you see, there's the dog and the rat. With having a catalog is what makes the most difference in the world. You see, like right now, how you're sitting down and you're not touring and stuff. It's your catalog that's bringing in.
No,
it's not the catalog.
It's the ratalog.
Ratalog. It's the ratalog.
These are my babies right now.
I hear you. I hear you.
This Cavalli and this is Coco.
Cavalli and Coco.
I'm two done them, you see me?
I hear you, boss. Yeah, man. It's
But yeah,
because
man,
of
it's because of
Rattalag.
the Rattalag. The Rattalag, I mean, as I say, I'm blessed with the Rattalag that allows me to still, travel to places, bro.
Yeah.
So,
Crazy. Red Rack, this conversation was freaking amazing. A lot of stuff that I've learned. And I know you only told me 2% of the history. You know what I mean? 2%.
This conversation would be like 10 hours long if we get deep into it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's crazy. But again, hopefully as soon as all of this is over, we could connect in real life. I'm in my studio. Hopefully you come to Canada, sit down in the studio, and we'll really chop it up the real and proper way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, absolutely. And again, thanks for having me on your platform, my brother. And anytime, just keep the link going.
Yeah, all the time. Give them some contact info if they want to check out what you're going on or anything right now. The floor is yours right now.
Yeah, man. And anything you need to know, you can check out my website at redratmusic.com, or if you want management and bookings, just link Mogul Movements Worldwide at gmail.com. That's Mogul Movements Worldwide at gmail.com. And on all social media, it's at Red Rat Music. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of them.
Mm-hmm. Don't you find social media to be almost like a miracle? Imagine you had social media back when.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Crazy.
Nobody couldn't talk to me.
Crazy. No, I can't wait to actually get this together and put it out. I got a lot of episodes, but can't wait to put this out. But thank you so very much. Epic conversation.
Respect, brother. Mogul Movements Worldwide. You see me?
You understand. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Cuts Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out. Bam. This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinesmusichut.com.